I've been with my boyfriend Wu Liang for a year, and this is the first time he's given me a gift. It's a beautifully packaged lipstick. He told me that girls should wear more makeup and use more lipstick. That way, they'll look better. I was so thrilled that even in the ride-hailing car, I couldn't put it down and kept looking at it. The driver suddenly changed his expression. Put it down quickly. What you're holding is a lipstick made from human fat. After my date with Wu Liang, I declined his offer to take me home. I called a ride-hailing car myself. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Wu Liang and me being together. He gave me a beautifully packaged lipstick. I couldn't tell what brand it was, but the packaging was covered in dense foreign letters. I suppose it must be a luxury brand I haven't seen before. Both Wu Liang and I are still students, so even though it was just a lipstick, it made me extremely happy, sitting in the ride-hailing car. I couldn't resist taking it out to admire it. The ride-hailing driver was a middle-aged man. It was going just fine, but after I took out my lipstick, he kept looking at me in the rearview mirror. It was already quite late, and I was alone. Seeing his behavior, I started to feel scared. I simply asked him directly, "Master, what are you looking at?" He frowned and suddenly asked me, "You were born in July or August, weren't you, little girl?" I was still happily admiring the lipstick and didn't have time to think, so my mouth answered faster than my brain, "Yes, master, you're not that young anymore, and you still believe in astrology." He slammed on the brakes and pulled the car over to the side of the road. Then he turned to me and asked, "How long is July?" Perhaps his expression was too serious, making me answer involuntarily, "The lunar calendar, July. July 15th, indeed." He slammed the steering wheel abruptly. "Little girl, throw away this lipstick, it's made from human fat." I stared at him in a daze. Then he burst into laughter. "Master, you must not know quality when you see it. This is a high-end brand. Look, it's even written in a foreign language." The master shook his head, saying he didn't understand foreign languages or brands, "But if I apply this lipstick continuously for 7 days, I will surely die." Coincidentally, the car had already reached the vicinity of the school. I tossed down $10, got out, and dashed back to the dormitory. What kind of nonsense is all this? What a day of bad luck. I had just returned to the dorm when I received a call from Wu Liang. On the phone, he first asked me if I liked lipstick. After hearing that I liked it very much, he then reminded me to make sure to use it every day. Only then would I not be letting down his kindness. I nodded, yet inexplicably recalled the driver's warning. "If I apply it for 7 consecutive days, I will surely die." I shook my head, trying to cast aside this inexplicable curse. After finishing the call with Wu Liang, I took off my clothes and was about to take a shower. Just as I was throwing the clothes into the laundry basket, a piece of paper fluttered out. I picked it up and took a look. It had the promotional slogan, "Dada Taxi, enjoy discounts," printed on it, along with a QR code next to it. Is this the business card of the driver from earlier? When did he put it in my clothes? I didn't notice at all. I casually threw it into the trash can. I need to go to bed early tonight, as I'm having a meal with Su Qingqing tomorrow. Su Qingqing is my best friend. She recently made some money from a part-time job and treated me to a steak dinner at a Western restaurant. When I arrived, she had already been there for a while. Seeing me, she suddenly froze and said, "Why aren't you wearing lipstick?" "What?" I thought I had misheard and instinctively retorted, "It's strange. Why is everyone so concerned about my lipstick?" Only then did she realize she had lost her composure and tried to cover it up with a laugh, saying, "Ha ha ha, I meant, didn't you really like the lipstick Wu Liang gave you? Are you reluctant to use it?" I sat down, hesitated for a moment, and then told her the truth. "Qingqing, this lipstick seems a bit strange. I only noticed it this morning when I was getting ready to do my makeup. This lipstick has a very odd smell when you open it. I can't quite describe what it smells like. It's a bit like the scent of incense candles you'd find in a temple." Qingqing glanced at me. "Lipstick is made of wax, so it's normal to have a waxy smell. Maybe that's just the trend abroad." "Is that so?" I scratched my head. Seeing that I was still hesitating, Qingqing simply asked me to hand her the lipstick. I passed it to her. "Why don't you give it a try?" Qingqing seemed to freeze for a moment, then replied nonchalantly, "Sure." She picked up the lipstick, twisted it open, and applied a thin layer on her lips. I asked her if she felt anything, but she shot me a fierce glare. You're the one overthinking things all day. There's no scent of incense or candles. Alright, hurry up and eat. Hearing her say that, I finally felt at ease. I also picked up the lipstick and applied some, admiring myself in the mirror with delight. This steak is really delicious. I ate more than half of it in one go. Looking up, I noticed Ching was poking at the vegetables and hadn't touched the steak at all. I asked her what was wrong. She suddenly jumped up. I'm going to the restroom. Ching took a long time in the restroom this time. About 20 minutes later, she still hadn't come out of the restroom. I was worried that something might have happened to her, so I got up and went to the restroom to look for her. As soon as I pushed open the restroom door, I heard the sound of someone retching. Is that Ching? I was about to call out to her when I heard her retching while muttering and cursing to herself. Little minx, she couldn't have done it on purpose, could she? No. Su Ching, don't overthink it. Who is she talking about? What little minx? I spoke up. Ching, is that you? A clattering sound came from the cubicle, followed by the sound of flushing. After a few minutes, Ching poked her head out. What brings you here? I was a bit worried and asked if she was sick. Wondering why she was vomiting so badly, she waved her hand and said it was just because she had been eating vegetarian for a while. It's been a long time since I had meat, and eating it suddenly made me feel a bit nauseous. Since she said it like that, I unapologetically ate her piece of steak as well, finishing it completely, only, while holding my stomach on the way back to school. I always felt that something wasn't quite right, but couldn't find the words. It wasn't until I ran into an auntie carrying a bag of bok choy that it suddenly hit me. Ching said she felt nauseous from eating meat, but just before she went to the restroom, I clearly only ate a little vegetable salad. I took that lipstick out of my bag. Ching put on lipstick. Ching couldn't eat. Ching retched for a long time. I couldn't care less about my heavy stomach. I immediately dashed back to the dormitory. That business card was still lying in the trash can. I quickly fished it out, scanned the QR code, and prepared to add the driver. But even after applying for a long time, the driver still hadn't accepted the request. Just then, Wu Liang called again. This time it was a video call. Seeing the lipstick on my lips, he covered his mouth and laughed. How about it? Meow meow. The lipstick color looks great, doesn't it? I nodded nervously. This reaction, in his eyes, became a symbol of shyness, so he coaxed me further, saying, then you must remember to use it every day. I recalled the driver's words and thought of testing him a bit. I whispered to him, honey, I don't really like this color. Can we exchange it? Wu Liang's expression changed, and he quickly said, this won't do. I asked a friend to bring this back from abroad for me. It's alright, sweetie. If you don't like it, I'll have him bring you another one. I pretended to be happy, said, thank you, dear, and hung up the phone. After finishing the call, I thought for a long time. Su Ching's behavior was a bit unusual, but it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the lipstick. Wu Liang was upset at first, but anyone would feel hurt if a gift they gave was disliked. Besides, he later offered to exchange it for me. After much thought, I still feel I overthought it, coincidentally. That driver didn't add me either. I put the lipstick back in the drawer and went to sleep, but I didn't sleep well at all that night. I dreamed of a long-haired girl sitting by the window, looking into a mirror. Outside the window, it was hazy, as if covered by fog. She turned her head toward me. Little by little, her head seemed mechanical, making a creaking sound with every turn. Suddenly, she turned her face completely toward me. She grabbed me and pulled me toward her. Just then, the alarm went off. I had an 8 a.m. class today, so I didn't have time to think about the meaning of the dream. I quickly washed up and rushed to the classroom. While getting breakfast, I ran into Tao Nian from my class. She tapped me on the shoulder, but when I turned around, she froze. Meow meow, you're wearing makeup for an 8 a.m. class. Makeup, but I wasn't wearing any. She pulled a mirror out of her bag. See for yourself. I looked into the mirror. Sure enough, my lips were bright red, clearly looking like I had applied lipstick. But I had definitely removed my makeup before going to bed last night, and when I washed my face this morning, I didn't notice anything unusual about the color of my lips. Because of this, I spent the whole day lost in wild and fanciful thoughts. This lipstick is really a bit eerie. After returning to the dorm, I didn't care that this was the first gift Wu Liang had given me. I grabbed the lipstick and threw it straight into the trash can. After throwing away the lipstick, for several days in a row, I no longer dreamed of that girl sitting by the window. Friday came again, and I made plans with Wu Liang to go to the nearby wildlife park and have a good time for 2 days. As soon as class ended, I hurriedly rushed to the school gate. Wu Liang had already booked a car and was waiting for me. I didn't wear any makeup today, but when he saw me barefaced, he didn't question why I wasn't wearing lipstick. I secretly patted my chest in relief. I must have been overthinking it. The drive would take an hour. On the way, Wu Liang played Candy Crush, while I browsed Xiaohongshu. After a while, the phone chimed with a WeChat notification. I opened it to see it was from my roommate, Lin Miao. What Lin Miao said was quite strange. Miao Miao, we just discussed something and felt we should talk to you about it again. After all, it's the lipstick your boyfriend gave you. We understand you like it. But could you please not always apply it in the middle of the night? It's too creepy. Lipstick, applied at midnight. At that very moment, my hair stood on end. I quickly asked Lin Miao, I put on lipstick every night, so why didn't you remind me? Lin Miao said they had reminded me before, but I snapped back at them fiercely. I even insisted that they were single and jealous that I had a boyfriend. Perhaps it was a sixth sense, but my first instinct was to check the bag I was carrying with me. Sure enough, the lost lipstick was lying at the very bottom of my bag. Seeing me suddenly start rummaging through my things, Wu Liang leaned over and asked, "What's wrong, sweetie?" I quickly shielded my bag and forced a smile, saying it's fine, it's fine. I remembered what that ride-hailing driver said, apply for 7 consecutive days. Wu Liang gave it to me last Friday. I started applying it on Saturday when I met Su Qingqing. Today is Friday, today is the 7th day. That is to say, if I still get up and put on lipstick tonight, I will surely die. My heart was in turmoil, and my first thought was to go back to school, even if it meant staying up all night or having my roommate tie me down. I absolutely must not put on lipstick again. I tentatively asked Wu Liang, "Honey, I suddenly feel a bit unwell. I think my period is coming." Wu Liang was taken aback for a moment but quickly recovered. "That's all right. Sweetie, we're going to the zoo, not swimming," I whispered, saying my stomach hurt a lot, and asked if we could skip the zoo. As I asked one question after another, his voice began to rise. He said the zoo tickets and hotel were booked in advance. If we don't go, it will all be for nothing. Meow meow, you know it took me half a month of working to save up this much money. Can you bear to just throw it away? Seeing him get angry, I fell silent. Should I really cancel this trip because of a driver's words? I held Wu Liang's hand. "Honey, don't be angry. I wasn't thoughtful enough just now." Perhaps because I gave in so quickly, Wu Liang didn't say anything more. Instead, he relaxed and continued playing his match 3 game. Just then, my WeChat chimed again. This time, it was the driver. He had accepted my request. I turned slightly, my back partly facing Wu Liang, and recounted the events of the past week. "Send them one by one, soon," the master replied to me. "If you trust me, don't provoke him for now, then send me the location you're going to." I sent him the address of the wildlife park. I carefully looked at what the driver sent me. He said this lipstick is human fat lipstick, and the process of making it is extremely disgusting. It involves repeatedly roasting parts of a human body after death over a fire. The collected human fat is then solidified, then make it into lipstick. Next, soak the lipstick in the remaining human oil, and chant incantations morning and night for 49 days, then bury it under a locust tree for 12 days. Only then is the human oil lipstick considered complete. I asked him, why did Wu Liang give me the human fat lipstick? He sent back 2 words, soul exchange. The human fat lipstick contains the resentment and unwillingness of the deceased. I apply human fat lipstick every day, and my soul has long been entangled with hers, and midnight is when a person is most vulnerable. The soul is also at its most unstable, so every night, it's not me applying the lipstick, but the person who was made into the human fat lipstick. I felt waves of chills running through my body. The driver told me to stay calm for now and wait until we arrived, then try to figure out a way to slip away. I nodded quietly in agreement. Wu Liangding's hotel was located near the wildlife park. After getting out of the car, you can enter the hotel directly from the garage. As soon as I got out of the car, I covered my stomach and pretended to be in pain as I said to Wu Liang, "Darling, could you go buy me a pack of sanitary pads? At first, he tried to coax me, let's go to the hotel has everything. I shook my head, looking like I was about to cry, refusing to go up no matter what. He sighed and finally agreed to go buy me sanitary pads first, then, I'll wait for you in the garage restroom. I pointed to the sign ahead that said, WC. As soon as Wu Liang stepped into the elevator, I dashed toward the emergency exit. As long as I could reach the ground, I could find a car to take me back. Just ahead. I ran without stopping toward that pitch-black passage. Then I looked up. I was still standing at the bathroom door. I had encountered a ghost wall. Baby. I feel like I've only been running for less than a minute, but Wu Liang's voice already sounded from behind. He raised the sanitary pad in his hand toward me. I forced a smile, took the sanitary pad, and went into the bathroom. In the bathroom, I was sending messages to the driver. He told me to hold on for one more night, as he was out of town and wouldn't be able to come until the next day. Wu Liang took me to a place called Fengdu Hotel and checked us in. When I entered the room, I noted down the room number and secretly sent it to the driver. Soon after, I received a message from the driver. He told me to hide under the bed after Wu Liang fell asleep and find a black cloth to cover my eyes. Hide under the bed. The driver said that Wu Liang would definitely check tonight to see if I had applied the red lipstick. Hide under the bed and cover yourself with a black cloth. It's to blind the ghost's eyes. Suddenly, I understood what my master meant. He said Wu Liang was a ghost. But how could that be? Wu Liang and I have been together for so long. How could he possibly be a ghost? The master asked me to think if he had anything shaped like a cicada on him. A cicada? I looked toward Wu Liang's neck. Since we first met, he had been wearing a jade cicada carved from white jade. At first, I was envious and wanted to ask him for it, but he refused to give it to me no matter what. The master sent an exclamation mark. That's a jade cicada, something the dead hold in their mouths. The master told me that this should be the jade cicada that Wu Liang held in his mouth when he was buried. Over time, it absorbed Wu Liang's final essence and yin energy. After Wu Liang's death, he turned into a vengeful ghost. As long as you wear it, you can live like a normal person. He asked me to find a way to remove the jade cicada, then hide under the bed. I asked my master why I couldn't just run away. The master sneered. Have you forgotten the ghost wall from the daytime? I shuddered all over and looked at the tightly closed security door. I got out of bed and carefully rummaged through my bag, finally finding the small scissors I always carry with me. Wu Liang was sleeping soundly, emitting a soft snore. I held my breath. Little by little, I cut off and removed that white jade cicada. When my hand touched it, I shivered all over from the cold. Even though it was made of jade, it was as cold as ice. I wrapped it in a tissue and stuffed it into my pocket. Then I hid under the bed. At midnight, Wu Liang woke up. I heard his icy voice. Naughty meow meow, where have you hidden? He usually calls me that, but at this moment, that voice sounds particularly eerie. Sweetie, don't joke around with your husband. I'm going to find you now. He anxiously got out of bed, pacing around the room, searching everywhere. Then those feet came to a stop right in front of me. I thought that in the next second, the black cloth before my eyes would be lifted. But he only paused for a few seconds by the bed before heading toward the bathroom. Is it here? The master was right. He couldn't see me under the bed. Wu Liang was so angry that he smashed several cups in a row, and his footsteps grew slower and slower. Safe for now, I suppose. After surviving the ordeal, a wave of exhaustion washed over me. In a daze, I ended up dozing off in a half-crouched position. When I woke up, it was already a bit light outside. I saw my phone screen flash. It was a message on WeChat, and the person who sent the message was actually Su Qingqing. When I cautiously glanced out from the bed, at this moment, Wu Liang seemed to have given up searching for me. He was sitting on the sofa by the door. He seemed certain that I couldn't escape, waiting for me to show up on my own. I covered the phone screen to prevent the light from leaking out, then scrolled through the messages Su Qingqing had sent. Meow meow. Where are you? I'm coming to find you. I asked her what was wrong, and she said angrily that Fang Xiaochen had upset her again. She wanted to come and vent to me. I instantly felt a bit anxious and told her not to come at all. I told her it would be hard to explain in a short time and that I'd go find her once I got back to school, but she insisted. Oh, I remember now. You guys are going to the wildlife park this week, Fingdu Hotel, right? Which room number? Su Qingqing and I usually share everything. And I had even told her all the details about this trip. I quickly typed to tell her not to come, no matter what, but she said she had already gotten in the car. This is it, I thought, hiding under the bed. I hope the hotel front desk upholds professional ethics and doesn't tell her my room number. Not even 20 minutes had passed, and I received her anxious inquiry again. Meow meow, I'm here. Which room are you in? The hotel front desk won't tell me. Thank goodness the hotel owner has a good eye for hiring. I didn't reply again, thinking that if she couldn't find me, she would just go back on her own, and just at that moment, I heard Wu Liang's phone ring. It was Su Qingqing calling. She couldn't find me, so she turned to ask Wu Liang which room we were in. I heard Wu Liang laugh, then tell her it's in room 1013. Not long after, I heard a knock at the door. My heart sank little by little. Now Su Qingqing has been dragged into this as well. Wu Liang opened the door for her, and as soon as she entered, she shouted loudly, meow meow, meow meow, where are you? As soon as she stepped into the house, Wu Liang closed the door. Seeing the pitch-dark room, Su Qingqing seemed to sense that something was wrong. Where is Meow Meow? Where is she? Wu Liang's voice carried a laugh. I can't find her either, so I'll have to trouble you to help me look. Su Qingqing asked him how she could help. Wu Liang took something out from behind the door. After that, from my angle, I could no longer see what happened next. I could only hear a loud noise. Then Wu Liang dragged over a chair. He tied Su Qingqing to it. My little darling, meow meow. I heard Wu Liang's voice. If you don't come out soon, your best friend is going to die. I was furious. Su Qingqing had always treated Wu Liang well, never gossiping about him like others did just because he was poor. How dare Wu Liang treat her like this? I am deeply frustrated. If something happens to me, it's because I misjudged people and was blinded by lust, but I can't drag my best friend into this, not even to the point of costing her life. Thinking this, I immediately wanted to crawl out from under the bed, just as I was about to remove the black cloth. I suddenly thought of something. Both Su Qingqing's school and mine are located in the city center, and the wildlife park is an hour's drive from the city. Su Qingqing just said she had a fight with her boyfriend from the same school, Fang Xiaoqin, which is why she came to find me. How could she have gotten here in just 20 minutes? I took a sharp breath. I sent the current situation here to the driver one by one and asked him how long it would take to arrive. He took a photo in the car and replied that he would be there within 10 minutes. I felt a bit more at ease. At this point, there's only one way to verify. I opened my phone and sent a WeChat message to Su Qingqing. Qingqing, I've walked around the hotel a few times and can't find my way back. I think I've encountered a ghost wall. What should I do? I'm so scared. I heard Su Qingqing's phone ring, and Wu Liang picked it up and quickly scrolled through it. Then he said to Su Qingqing, oh no. She still managed to run out. As expected, I closed my eyes. Su Qingqing and Wu Liang were actually in cahoots. Su Qingqing asked Wu Liang what to do, and after a moment of thought, Wu Liang said it was more important to find me first, so he let go of Su Qingqing. The two decided to go downstairs to look for me right away. I heard the sound of the door opening, and the sound of footsteps slowly fading away. I crawled out from under the bed and looked through the peephole before opening the door. The hallway was empty, and indeed, there was no one there. I then opened the door and slowly stepped out. Just as my entire body was exposed outside the door, I heard a light laugh from not far away. So you were in the room after all. It was Su Qingqing. Su Qingqing and Wu Liang stood at the elevator entrance, glaring at me with fierce expressions. Just as Su Qingqing spoke, Wu lunged at me like a dog. I turned around to flee, but faster than me was a hand reaching out from the side. That hand pulled me into the room and placed something at the door as it closed. The door shut. Wu Liang and Su Qingqing were both locked outside the room. I leaned against the door, gasping for breath, my heart racing, and it took me a long time to calm down before I looked around. The person who pulled me in was the driver. I suddenly felt as if I had found my anchor. Driver. He raised a finger to his lips in a shoot gesture, signaling me to listen carefully. I immediately held my breath. In the quiet surroundings, I heard something thumping, as if someone were kowtowing. The master smiled mysteriously. I placed a peachwood threshold at the door. Don't worry, those two ghosts can't get in. I was startled. Two, Su Ching. The master glanced at me, surrounded by two ghosts every day, and you didn't notice a thing. Two outside the door. One is a fierce ghost nurtured by the jade cicada, and the other is a corpse-transforming ghost. The master said Su Ching is a corpse-transforming ghost. She survives by taking over human bodies, but each body can only be used for 20 years. After 20 years, the body gradually melts away. She must obtain a new body. Only then can she continue to live on. After hearing what the master said, I actually felt a bit like laughing. I originally thought Wu Liang was the mastermind, and Su Ching was the accomplice. I never expected that Wu Liang did all this, all for Su Ching. I remember the day I first met Wu Liang, and Su Ching was also there. Su Ching and I were eating at a restaurant, and Wu Liang happened to be working there as a waiter. He was bumped into by someone passing by, and a whole bowl of soup spilled all over me. Su Ching was about to get angry on the spot, but seeing Wu Liang's flushed face, I said, forget it, just as we were about to leave. The restaurant staff told me that the bill had already been paid. The person who paid the bill was Wu Liang. I didn't ask him to compensate for the clothes, so he paid for the meal instead. After a few more interactions like this, we naturally ended up in a relationship. Everything had its signs. That meal back then was actually planned by the two of them together. I told my master everything. My master nodded and said, kind-hearted people are always the first to be taken advantage of. I gritted my teeth, holding back my tears. In a single day, I lost both my boyfriend and my best friend. I asked the master how I could get rid of them. The master pondered for a moment. Then, from the bag he was carrying, he pulled out a red dress. He told me to put on the red dress first. I stared at the red dress in confusion and asked him why I needed to change into it. The master said that the red dress wards off evil spirits. He was afraid that during the upcoming ritual, he might not be able to protect me. So he wanted me to wear the red dress first to avoid being harmed by the two evil spirits. I was half convinced, half doubtful, but I still listened to him and went to the bathroom to change out of the skirt. The master handed me a steelyard weight. When ghosts cross the Naiha bridge, they are weighed by Mengpa to measure the weight of their souls, so all ghosts are extremely afraid of a steelyard weight. The master said he tied the steelyard weight to one of my hands. I was a bit scared. Master, this is a bit heavy. I'm afraid it might be hard to run later. He told me not to be afraid, that he would be there for everything. I nodded, feeling much more at ease inside. The master handed me another talisman. This is a paralysis talisman. If they get close to you, stick it on them. I asked the master, is this paralysis talisman really that effective? Master, what other magical tools do you have? I'll buy them from you. I have money. The master frowned. You little girl. Perhaps my sincerity moved him, and he handed me another talisman. He told me to take this one, saying it was an enhanced version of the immobilization talisman. Don't even mention evil spirits. Even a living person would be unable to move for a long time if this were stuck on them. Holding this talisman, I finally felt completely at ease. I was wearing a red dress. One hand held a weight, and the other held the talisman he had given me, looking solemnly toward the door. Master, open the door. The door opened. Su Ching and Wu Liang, both ghosts, knelt at the doorway, banging their heads against the peachwood threshold. They saw me. Their eyes glowed with a greenish light. In the next second, Su Ching and Wu Liang lunged at me. Feng miao miao. I yelled for my master to save me and immediately hid behind the driver. The driver was holding a horsetail whisk. He swung straight at the two of them. Su Ching and Wu Liang showed no fear at all. Instead, they charged forward to grab him. The master was shocked. Such a small place like Yaoqing could actually produce 2,000-year-old malevolent spirits. He summoned a small altar and began chanting incantations continuously. Before long, the sound of rolling thunder could be heard outside. Su Ching and Wu Liang, clutching their heads, began to moan in agony. I jumped out from behind my master. It worked. 2 beads of sweat dripped from the master's forehead. A 1,000-year-old fierce ghost is truly troublesome. I quickly flattered him. In your presence, they're all just worthless trash. I urged the master to quickly subdue the two of them, to prevent them from continuing to harm the world. The master listened, then nodded with a smile. These 2 spirits must be subdued. But before that, I must first subdue you, this vessel of darkness." With that, he swung his horsetail whisk and lunged at me. In his hand, he held a long, slender silver needle. The driver, who had just been kind and gentle moments ago, seemed like a completely different person in a matter of seconds. He cackled wickedly. "The ghost month and ghost day. What a perfect vessel. With a little ghost like you, I'll finally be complete." I stood there dumbfounded, turning to run. I'm human. He laughed heartily. "You are now, but who knows what you'll be in a moment." Really, just as he was about to lunge at me, I suddenly came to a halt. Then I turned around. With a swift motion, I slapped a talisman onto his forehead. That's right, it was the same super-powered immobilization talisman he had just given me. He stood there, completely unable to move. Only his round, wide-open eyes seemed unable to comprehend how all of this had happened. I pulled the silver needle from his hand. Tossing it aside with disdain, I said, "This shoddy thing, and you dare use it as a soul-nailing pin?" The master's eyes widened even larger than bronze bells. I patted his face. "Want to know what's going on?" He was frozen in place, unable to nod. But it didn't matter. Letting someone die with clarity is my principle of doing things. I moved a chair from the house and sat down in front of him with a grin. "That might have to start from 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I was born into the Fong family, one of the top 10 families in the capital, the Fongs. When I was born, the family only had one older sister, Fong Ruoyao. Yao Yao is an illegitimate child. I was born during the Ghost Festival in July, and since I was little, I could see things that others couldn't. Everyone says I bring bad luck. Only my sister is kind to me. I tell her everything I see. Like the little figures on the refrigerator or the pale faces outside the window. She's scared too. But she always gathers her courage and pulls me into her arms, saying, "Meow meow, don't look, it's just something unclean." Unfortunately, her own situation isn't much better, a bastard child and a ghost girl. Everyone avoids the two of us. Later, my younger brother was born. She and I became even more invisible in the family, to the point where even the nanny could bully us. My brother had a car to pick him up and drop him off for school, while she and I had to walk on our own. My brother had a nutritionist who designed special meals for him. Yao Yao and I often ate at the small food stalls outside the school. Yao Yao was a few years older than me, and she always saved a portion of her food for me. She would pat my head and say, "My little sister is still growing and needs to eat well." Who would believe that a girl from the Fong family grew up with such an uncertain supply of food? When I was 10 years old, a mysterious expert suddenly came to my home and said he wanted to take me as his disciple. He also said that if I practiced at the Taoist temple for 10 years, I might be able to rid myself of the ghostly aura on me. My family immediately sent me away without delay. During those 10 years, my only hope was that when I turned 20, I could finally leave the mountain and see Yao Yao. When I was 20, I came down from the mountain. All I saw was Yao Yao's body. Yao Yao died on a hot summer night. After her class reunion ended, she called a ride-hailing car to go home and got off at the entrance of the villa area. After that, they were never seen again. I spent 2 years, hiring private investigators, visiting families of metaphysics, and finally pinpointed the target, a corpse driver from the Xiangxi faction, Lu Mang. By the time Yao Yao got off the car, she was already a dead person, and Lu Mang was the driver. He used corpse driving techniques to make everyone think my sister got off the car alive. Thus, he escaped a disaster. So from that day on, every day I would call a car on the route where Lu Mang drove for ride-hailing. In my hand, I hold a lipstick made from human fat. He considers himself a master of metaphysics and can't resist showing off in front of me. Even if he doesn't ask, I will find a way to reveal it to him. I was born on the 15th of July. Ghost women are the most suitable for refining into little ghosts, dressed in red at the time of death, to maximize the resentment, hands bound with a weight, to prevent the soul from dispersing and trap it in the body. A soul-suppressing nail is inserted into the top of the head. From then on, he was at the mercy of Lu Mang. A little ghost made this way can do anything, from moving wealth to exchanging fates. A person like him, with no principles or bottom line. I don't believe he wouldn't be tempted. I waited and waited, for a very, very long time. That day, that car finally drove slowly toward me. I looked at the bright headlights, and showed the most sincere smile I had in 10 years. "Found you," I clapped my hands, and Su Qingqing and Wu Liang immediately stopped their howling. Su Qingqing sidled up to me. "Boss, can you sense the young lady's presence?" I shook my head. I couldn't. On Lu Mang, I couldn't sense even a trace of Yao Yao's presence. Seeing my puzzled expression, Lu Mang's eyes gleamed with pride. I used the rope my master had given me to tie him up tightly from head to toe. Only then did I remove the talisman and ask him coldly, "Where is Yao Yao?" Lu Mang chuckled twice. "Tell me in a venomous tone. You'll never find her. Is that so?" I flexed my wrist. "Then there's no need for you to stay alive." Lu Mang wasn't a fool. There was one thing he said that was quite right. "Su Qingqing, this ghoul, is almost time to change her shell." I turned around and gave Su Qingqing a meaningful look. Wait, just a second. Before Su Qingqing was about to take a bite, Lu Mang called out to me, "Don't you want to know why the Feng family didn't pursue the matter to the end back then?" I stopped in my tracks. This was also a question I couldn't figure out no matter how hard I thought. Why? Lu Mang thudded to the ground, his bound body twisting and crawling toward me like a big green caterpillar. "I'm telling you, I'll tell you everything. I kidnapped her. It was the Feng family's doing." In Lu Mang's account, he was given a large sum of money to silence Feng Yao Yao. It was an elegant and dignified woman from the Feng family, impeccably styled hair, a Suzhou silk cheongsam embroidered with gold threads. I closed my eyes. It was my stepmother. Lu Mang wanted to save his own skin and tried to sway me with Feng Yao Yao, the Feng family. The Feng family told me to torture her to death. But I didn't, I swear, madam. I gave her the quickest death. Oh, and the Feng family also made me say something. Lu Mang looked at my expression, trembling with fear. The Feng family said, "If Feng Yao Yao refuses to get in the car, tell her what?" Lu Mang hesitated for a moment, gritted his teeth, and then spat out a curse before speaking. "The Feng family told me to say it. Don't forget, you still have a sister." Lu Mang said that he had long since handed over Yao Yao's soul to the Feng family, to make a little ghost, to change the fate and fortune of the Feng family's youngest son. At this moment, I think I finally understand what it means to have a heart-wrenching pain. I waved my hand, and Su Qingqing walked toward Lu Mang. The feeling of being forcibly stuffed with a soul is extremely unpleasant, but I could no longer hear his cries. I looked towards the direction of the city center of Beijing in the distance. "Long time no see, Feng family, I'm back."